Time now to take a look at the international newspapers, and for that I'm joined by Katerina Vitosi. Hello again, Katerina.
Hello.
Now, Lebanese papers today are focusing on that rare public appearance by the leader of Hezbollah.
Absolutely, as you can imagine it would. You said it yourself, a rare public appearance, what's sort of his fifth in about 6 years. It makes the front page of As-Safir, leading with a photograph of the leader, flanked by bodyguards at this rally which attracted tens of thousands of supporters in Lebanon. The headline, a call to the streets following the US insult. The paper says that his presence really sort of invigorated the crowd and got them really believing in the words he was saying, really invigorated in this cause to come out on the streets to protest against this US film that was perceived as being anti-Islam.
And he was really fired up himself.
He was really fired
angry.
up, and you know, like we've said, you know, his presence there, the icing on this cake, really. And this is a theme which has been picked up by the English language daily in Lebanon, the Daily Star. They lead a slightly different angle. They call this Back to Reality. You can see there a picture of Pope Benedict XVI, says contrast his presence in Lebanon over the weekend with this speech of Hassan Nasrallah, saying, you know, the Pope was there preaching this kind of peace, unity, reconciliation. Then we've got a couple of days later what they say is the reality of a region which is very much divided, according to the Daily Star. The Lorient Le Jour go even further, very critical of Nasrallah's speech, saying that this was live hate, they say. This is a French-speaking Lebanese daily. Again, they draw that contrast between the essence of Nasrallah's speech with that of Pope Benedict the 16th. They actually also say, quite interestingly, that they feel Nasrallah only appeared in public because that he's had a sense of waning control over the past couple of years, as we've seen. Perhaps his cause been slightly overshadowed by that of the Arab Spring. So they say that this film, this kind of rising public anger, has been an easy horse for him to sort of jump onto, an easy bandwagon for him to latch onto. So some very interesting and differing reactions there from the Lebanese press.
Moving on to coverage now of those rising tensions between Japan and China over a territorial dispute.
Absolutely, and in fact the role of the US, has sort of inadvertently been playing. The International Herald Tribune, new tension in China over radar for Japan. Let me just explain a little bit of the background. This is the US Defense Secretary has gone to, well, he's doing a little tour of, he's currently in China, he was in Japan. He's agreed on a new military facility, a joint sort of US-Japanese radar facility. Now, according to Japanese press, this is great. They very calm tone. They're talking about how all is well with Japanese-US relations. They say that this radar is something that'll help security for both Japan and the US. They also say that they will heed the call of the US Defense Secretary to solve the island row between itself and China calmly, and they acknowledged, yep, we've heeding the US saying we know that they will not take sides. However, contrast that to the reaction by the China Daily, who have in the strongest language criticised the US for entering into this military agreement. They say it is impossible for the US not to be seen as taking sides. They say that this is the US behaving badly. They feel that, in particular, this new military facility, they say, OK, you say it's to protect the US and Japanese, but we feel like it's aimed at us. So they say that Panetta is going to have to do a lot of diplomatic legwork in his current visit to China. It's a theme that's picked up by quite an amusing little cartoon in the South China Morning Post. You can see it there. Right, where can we put our new missile defense system so it doesn't annoy people, says the US representative. Japanese team there saying, well, glad you asked, because we've just brought these islands, with a little Chinese panda looking on disgruntled in the background.
A very, very quick look at British press under further scrutiny.
Absolutely. This is exclusive on the front page of The Independent at a time when the British media are becoming under further pressure. In the coming weeks, we'll see an press inquiry into press freedom. The News of the World, the papers say that the News of the World could have links to private detectives who were hired to burgle homes looking for stories. This, of course, is something news that the world executives have denied, but the Independents say they've got very good information that suggests this could be the case, and that UK police are in fact looking at this now.
All right, thank you very much, Katharina, for running us through the international newspapers.